If your life were struck by crisis tomorrow, would it stand or would it crumble? If the job disappeared, if the market fell, if the friends vanished, if the comfort stopped, would you remain upright? Or would you collapse with everything around you? Most men are proud of what they've built, but I tell you, they built it on sand. Their relationships, their fortunes, their beliefs, they look tall, but they are hollow. The winds will come, and when they do, only the man who built with invisible law will still be standing. You think your strength is in your bank account, your status, your name. It is not. Your true strength is in your thought. And if that thought is not definite, not disciplined, not reinforced daily with faith and purpose and identity, it will fail you. And it will fail you when you need it most. You see, a man's mind is his blueprint. His habits are his beams. His repetition is his cement. And if any of these are left to chance, the structure will betray him. But if they are built deliberately by spiritual law, then no storm, no loss, no pressure can undo what has been built in obedience to truth. This speech is not motivation. It is instruction for indestructibility. It is a manual for those who are tired of collapsing at the first sign of resistance. It is for the man who wants to be the last one standing when everything else has fallen. But beware, to build this kind of life, you must first tear down everything false. You must destroy the laziness, the softness, the mental drift that made you weak. You must cast out every thought that makes your life fragile. You must build from stone, not from straw. I will show you how, but only if you're ready to hear what most men will never hear and do what most men are too afraid to do. If you are ready, then let us begin. Most men live in beautiful homes built on mental sand. Their possessions look grand. Their titles sound noble. Their calendars are full. But the moment pressure strikes, the moment something doesn't go as planned, their lives collapse. And they do not fall from lack of luck. They fall because their thinking was never secured in law. A man may own a castle, yet be ruled by fear. He may speak a vision, but his inner voice repeats confusion. He may dress in success, but if his thoughts are unstable, his success will not last. Everything collapses at the level of thought. No structure, no relationship, no business, no dream will stand unless it rests upon disciplined, definite, focused thought. You may ask why you fall apart when difficulty arises, why your confidence shatters, why your motivation disappears. The answer is simple. You did not build your life on granite, you built it on sand. And when the winds came, your internal architecture crumbled because nothing was rooted in certainty. Let this truth be cemented in your heart. A man's life is only as strong as the thoughts he repeats, not what he reads, not what he hopes, what he repeats. For repetition is construction. Repetition forms the beams, the nails, the foundation. What is repeated becomes permanent, and most men repeat doubt. The mind, like a structure, can only bear the weight it was designed for. And most men never reinforce their mind. They install no steel beams of definiteness, no cement of faith, no blueprint of purpose. And so when life leans on them, they fold, not because of life, but because of what they failed to build. You cannot expect strength where no strength was installed. You cannot expect discipline in times of trial if you never practiced it in peace. You cannot expect your structure to stand firm when all you've done is decorate it, but never reinforce it from within. Let us now expose the silent destroyer, drift. Drift is the great termite in the beams of human life. Drift is the absence of structure, the slow decay of will, the subtle surrender of purpose. And drift never arrives screaming. It whispers, it creeps, it seduces you with comfort, with delay, with ease, and then it steals the ground from under you. Hear me clearly. The drifter prays for peace, but plants fear. He dreams of strength while repeating weakness. He wishes for greatness, but rehearses mediocrity. He wants to stand, but never lays the bricks. And when his life collapses, he blames the storm, never the fact that he built on sand. Contrast this with the life of Henry Ford. While other men feared collapse, Ford built structures of thought so definite, so reinforced with repetition, that no market, no critic, no circumstance could make him retreat. His wealth was not his factory. His true wealth was his mental architecture, and that architecture stood through every storm. Ford was not merely an inventor. He was a builder of thought. His decisions were not made on feelings. They were anchored in clarity. While others changed direction at every gust of doubt, Ford's mind remained still. And in that stillness, he built a structure that carried millions forward. You must now ask yourself, have I built anything on rock? Or have I painted over the sand and called it stability? Do not seek to impress the world. Seek to reinforce the self. The outer will follow the inner, but never the other way around. If your foundation is vague, your life will be inconsistent. If your thinking is unstable, your outcomes will be unpredictable. You cannot build an empire on feelings. You cannot build a dynasty on inspiration. You cannot build a fortress on maybe. You must build your future on law, the law of definiteness, the law of repetition, the law of faith, the law of purpose. These are the bricks, these are the beams, these are the materials that do not collapse. Let me speak to your conscience now. Before you build your fortune, your family, your future, you must first rebuild your thinking. The world does not need another man with opinions. It needs a man who cannot be shaken because he has built himself in silence, with thought, with structure, with law. And this building begins tonight, not with wood, not with stone, but with the thoughts you choose, the words you repeat, and the decisions you cement in your mind. A structure collapses when the architect changes his mind midway through construction. So does a man. A half-built tower falls in on itself, not because of wind, but because of indecision. A man who has not made a final decision about who he is will collapse the moment pressure demands an answer. You cannot build anything worth keeping if you keep changing the blueprint. A strong life is impossible without a strong identity. Most men wander because they never decide. They float through roles, through jobs, through crowds, adapting to conditions instead of commanding them. And then they wonder why nothing lasts. Let me make it plain. No success can last unless identity is fixed, not assumed, not hoped for, declared, and repeated until it becomes bone and blood and breath. A man must choose what he stands for, not once, but forever. And then he must make every thought, every word, every step align with that declaration. Repeat this truth. Until you decide who you are, the world will keep deciding for you. It will give you titles, labels, expectations, fears. It will seduce you into temporary success built on borrowed identity. But only the man who declares himself and stays that man will ever build something that does not collapse. Do not waste your life trying to discover who you are. That is the path of the drifter. You must declare who you are, and then train your mind to obey the declaration until doubt becomes silent. Say aloud now, I am the architect of my thought. I lay my own stone. I am the man who persists regardless of wind, weight, or opposition. You are not defined by your past, your environment, or your mistakes. You are defined by the decision you make in this very moment and the discipline to repeat that decision until the world has no choice but to treat you accordingly. I tell you now of Andrew Carnegie. As a young boy, he did not have education. He did not have money, but he did have decision. He looked at the men around him and declared in his spirit, I will not live as they do. I will not serve wages. I will command capital. And from that moment, he was no longer a worker. He was a builder of empires. His decision shaped his vocabulary, it changed his posture, it rewrote his associations. He was no longer available to small thinking. He was no longer accessible to fear. And because he decided once and for all, he became the steel king of a generation. That is the secret. Decision is the steel beam that keeps the life from bending. A man who has not decided will break under the first test, but a man who has decided will stand where others fall, because he is already built for pressure. Say now with power, I am no longer undecided. I have chosen who I am, and that decision is final. Most men wobble not because they are weak, but because they refuse to decide. They think life will offer them an identity, but life offers nothing to the man who does not first declare and demand it. Do not live with a spine of suggestion. Live with a spine of conviction. When a man walks into a room with decision in his posture, the world adjusts. His tone does not waver. His eyes do not dart. His energy is not desperate. He has no need to convince, because he has already commanded. Let me speak this law into your heart. A man without decision is a life without a spine. He will collapse even when praised. He will falter even when surrounded by opportunity. But the man of decision cannot be moved, not by applause, not by rejection, not by temporary loss, because his roots are not in results, they are in resolve. The world cannot shake what it did not build. When your identity is built on public approval, it crumbles under criticism. But when your identity is built on a private covenant with yourself, you become invincible, not because of pride, but because of permanence. This is the vow. From this day forward, I will not change my shape to fit others. I will not shrink to be accepted. I will not abandon my path to be understood. I have declared who I am, and I will repeat it until the world believes it, or until I build a world that does. Let the average man adjust. Let the fearful man conform. Let the distracted man forget. You will decide once and forever, and that decision will become your beam, your compass, your fortress. We now move forward, not as a seeker, but as a builder, not as a wanderer, but as an architect, not as one who waits for permission, but as one who has already laid the cornerstone of self. Every day your structure is either being reinforced or quietly corroded. There is no stillness in your identity. You are not paused, you are not waiting. You are either building your future in silence, or you are being rebuilt by outside forces that serve no purpose but their own. A man cannot live unconsciously and remain whole. For the world is not passive, it is persuasive. It will offer him distractions, entertainments, emotional dramas, and alluring comforts. And with each indulgence, a beam is removed from his inner framework. And one day he wakes up and finds his strength is gone. Nothing stays still. You are either advancing or eroding. Your thinking, your habits, your discipline, they are either growing stronger by design or weakening by neglect. And neglect is not neutral, it is rot. Decay does not announce itself. It shows up slowly until the floor gives way beneath you. Let me remind you, your mind is under construction daily, and if you do not build it, others will. They will build it with fear, with opinions, with their lack of purpose. They will fill your mind with their doubts, their noise, their weakness, and they will call it reality. But it is not your reality unless you adopt it. I tell you of Charles M. Schwab. He was not born poised. He was not born magnetic. He was not born with the stature of leadership, but he rehearsed it daily. He cultivated mental habits in silence, belief, discipline, clarity of speech, and those rehearsals became structures no public failure could ever dismantle. What you do daily becomes what you are permanently. This is the force of cosmic habit force. It is the law that cements whatever is repeated, whether truth or lie, strength or weakness, faith or fear. And once it is set, it becomes your nature. If you repeat delay, you become procrastination. If you repeat excuse, you become justification. If you repeat negative speech, you become a speaker of limitation. And if you repeat thoughts of collapse, it is no surprise when your life reflects ruin. Hear me clearly. Most men pour doubt into their structure like water through cracks, and they wonder why it eventually caves in. They wonder why their confidence leaks, their motivation fades, their relationships fall, their income shrinks. But the cause was never outside. The cause was always inside. You cannot expect your structure to stand if you are not reinforcing it on purpose. You must install discipline, faith, purpose, identity. These are not luxuries. These are the bricks. These are the beams, and you must repeat them until they become part of your permanent being. This is where auto-suggestion becomes your daily hammer. You do not hope for strength. You build it. You do not wish for identity. You repeat it. You do not pray for discipline. You install it. Not once, but daily, until it becomes automatic. Here is your ritual. Every morning, write your identity. Every afternoon, speak your decision aloud. Every evening, reinforce your definite chief aim with repetition and prayer. Build it into your breath. Build it into your habits. Build it until even your sleep obeys your command. Say this with me now. My habits are the bricks of my future. My thoughts are reinforced daily with purpose. My speech is the frame of the life I am constructing. Do not expect miracles from inconsistency. Do not expect wealth from forgetfulness. Do not expect power from weak patterns. You must become unshakable in your rituals, because rituals reinforce what you declared in identity. And without reinforcement, all great declarations turn to dust. Understand this. The future you want will not be built in the storms. It must be built in the calm before the storm. It must be rehearsed, cemented, forged into muscle memory, so that when pressure comes, you are not searching for strength. You are already living from it. Let others neglect their foundations. Let others live by hope. You will live by habit, by instruction, by repetition of purpose. And that repetition will create a structure so sound, so exact, so spiritually aligned that no amount of pressure can bring it down. Say it again with full will. I repeat only what builds. I cement only what supports. I am building the man who cannot be broken. We now go deeper into the force that binds the structure together, the cement between your mental bricks. Faith. Faith is not an accessory. It is not a feeling. Faith is the internal cement of all permanent success. Without it, no life will stand. Without it, every goal collapses under weight. Without it, your structure, no matter how elegant, will not survive the pressure of reality. A man who does not possess faith cannot hold a vision. He cannot endure resistance. He cannot delay gratification without retreating. He cannot speak with power or decide with permanence. He collapses, not because he is evil, not because he lacks desire, but because he lacks the internal cement that holds all power together. Most men confuse belief with emotion, but belief is weak unless fortified with repetition and faith. The real enemy is not lack of ambition. It is the presence of mental rot, and that rot has a name: fear. Fear is not an emotion, it is corrosion. It is a parasite that eats through every beam of confidence you've ever built. It weakens your structure from the inside. It hollows your resolve. It replaces your strength with hesitation and your clarity with confusion. Fear does not knock. It whispers. It sneaks in through habits. It arrives disguised as logic, dressed as concern, draped in passivity. And before you know it, your life is leaning, because your structure has been softened by invisible decay. You cannot think both faith and fear. You cannot build with both courage and caution. One builds, the other destroys. And whichever you repeat will take over your structure, either reinforcing it with conviction or collapsing it under anxiety. Let me tell you a story that proves this law. Thomas Edison. When others failed 100 times, they declared defeat. Edison, failing 1,000 times, declared refinement. His structure did not collapse because it was cemented by an idea that would not die. Edison did not simply believe he would succeed. He refused to entertain any other thought. That is the cement I speak of. That is faith, not as suggestion, but as mental law. And that law carried him through when others gave up. You may decorate your mind with ambition, but if you do not pour cement between your principles, you will crumble. It is not enough to have goals. You must have faith that carries those goals on your back when strength is low and doubt is high. Fear is not passive, it is active erosion. It whispers stories of failure. It installs pictures of defeat. It rehearses your collapse before it even happens. It is the termite in the wood, the rust in the steel, the crack beneath the paint. But faith is fire. It hardens your vision. It burns out weakness. It welds your thoughts together in unity. It fuses every beam of your structure, so no wind, no criticism, no loss, no delay can shake you. Here are your reinforcements. Speak them with power. I walk by inner sight, not outer weather. Faith is the fire that fuses every beam of my purpose. My belief is louder than every external storm. Do not expect the winds to die down. Expect to become stronger than the winds. Do not wait for an easier life. Build a stronger mind. That is the law of power. That is the material from which an unshakable man is made. When your thoughts are built in faith, fear cannot enter. It may knock, it may try, but it cannot find a crack to seep into. Because you have sealed your mind with decision, with repetition, with identity, and with faith practiced daily. Remember, every act of faith builds strength. Every thought of doubt erodes it. You must choose daily which you allow to work upon your structure. Will you permit termites to feast upon your beams, or will you pour another layer of cement into the base? Say aloud now, I do not collapse, I reinforce. I do not shrink, I seal my thought with belief. I am built from inner law, not external weather. If your life is collapsing, it is not the winds, it is not your boss, it is not the news, it is the absence of inner cement. And that cement is faith. Not borrowed faith, not weekend faith, not whispered faith, but declared, repeated, daily tested faith. The man who lives by this principle becomes the pillar in the storm. While others flee, he leads. While others hesitate, he builds. While others collapse, he becomes the tower others lean on. And now you shall become that man. No man knows the strength of his structure until the winds press against it. The true nature of your thoughts is never revealed when life is calm. It is revealed when life demands an answer. And in that moment, pressure does not invent your character. It reveals what was already hidden in your walls. Most men decorate their lives, but never test them. They adorn their speech with positivity. They boast of goals. They speak confidently when unchallenged. But when the storm arrives, when the market shifts, the friendship breaks, the pressure mounts, their lives collapse like hollow temples. Why? Because there was never substance beneath the surface. There were no reinforced beams of faith, no cemented joints of decision, no welded habits of perseverance. There was only appearance, and appearance collapses under pressure. Hear me, pressure is not the problem, weakness is. And pressure simply reveals where the weakness was already hiding. If you wait until the test arrives to become strong, it is already too late. You do not build strength in battle. You reveal it. Look at Abraham Lincoln, when the nation was split, when betrayal and war surrounded him, when death threatened to undo everything, he did not shake. Not because he was fearless, but because his inner framework had been reinforced with purpose, with long obedience, with spiritual architecture built before the war ever began. You must become such a man who knows his walls have been tested in silence, a man who knows his thoughts have been checked for weakness, a man who knows that when pressure comes, it is not a crisis. It is a confirmation of what he has already built. Say it with power. Pressure is the revealer of truth. Let it test you. Let it expose you. Let it find your weak joints so you may replace them with steel. For the man who inspects his structure before the storm does not fear the wind, he welcomes it as proof. Make it your ritual each evening. Inspect your thoughts. Find the cracks. Reinforce the beams. Speak new commands. Do not let the day end without rebuilding. Your habits are nails. Your affirmations are mortar. Your repetition is steel. Build nightly. Stand daily. Say these now. I do not break. I am pre-built for difficulty. Pressure polishes me. It does not shatter me. Every blow against me only proves my preparation. Do not envy ease. Do not crave safety. Crave structure. Crave strength. Crave the unseen stability that is not for decoration, but for endurance. Men who collapse in crisis were never ready to begin with. Their outer success was built on sand. Their identity was borrowed. Their discipline was circumstantial. Their structure was designed for applause, not resistance. You will not be that man. You will not hope for ease. You will prepare for impact. You will not pray to avoid difficulty. You will thank pressure for revealing the unfinished work and reinforcing the unfinished wall. The world will try to shake you. Let it. If your structure has been built correctly, pressure cannot undo what was forged by principle, law, and purpose. So I ask you, will you wait for the winds to arrive before you inspect your framework? Or will you prepare now and stand when others fall? One poor conversation can remove a beam from your inner structure. Do not think for a moment that men are neutral. They are not. The voices around you are either reinforcing your frame or weakening your base. And every word that enters your ears enters your thoughts. Every opinion you tolerate becomes a suggestion to your subconscious. Most men collapse not from their own doubt, but from the echo of borrowed disbelief. They allow the fears of their families, the hesitations of their friends, the indecision of their co-workers to drip into their minds like acid, corroding steel beams they worked years to build. Let this be known. People are either allies to your foundation or termites to your purpose. You cannot allow the undisciplined to advise your structure. You cannot allow drifters to decorate your identity. You cannot permit the small-minded to design your architecture. The law of the mastermind is sacred. When two or more minds harmonize in a spirit of faith, purpose, and belief, a new mind is born, greater than either alone. But the opposite is also true. When disharmony, doubt, and complaint enter, your structure begins to erode. You must choose your builders carefully. I speak now of Henry Ford. He did not merely protect his ideas, he protected his meetings. He refused to let doubters speak into his plans. He surrounded himself with men who repeated his belief, not who challenged it with fear. His inner circle was a fortress. And because of that, so was his legacy. Say this now with unshakable authority. Do not let those who fear storms advise your blueprints. I do not consult the weak when building the strong. Every time you speak with the wrong man, every time you give ear to opinions without definiteness, you weaken your resolve, not all at once, but slowly, subtly, like a hairline crack expanding under pressure until one day it breaks. You must become ruthless with your inner circle. This is not arrogance, it is architecture, it is spiritual engineering. A single whisper of sarcasm can devalue your vision. A single doubt spoken with charm can lower your intensity. And when your intensity lowers, so does the structure it holds. Here are your affirmations. Engrave them into your speech. I surround myself only with minds that add support to mine. I do not argue with termites. I build with architects. My purpose is not a committee. It is a command. Do not mistake kindness for compatibility. Just because a man smiles does not mean he belongs in your scaffolding. Just because he means well does not mean he thinks well. Your foundation is not a playground. It is sacred ground. And only those who understand your blueprint may help you lay stone. The strongest structures in the world do not survive because of chance. They survive because of integrity of material and purity of design. Likewise, your mind must not be polluted with small talk, petty drama, or irrelevant minds who lack purpose. Let me be even clearer. The structure of your life requires guardianship, not social acceptance. Your inner walls must be protected like a vault. Your routines must be guarded like treasure. Your vision must be defended like a kingdom, because it is one. Do not confuse popularity with power. The world applauds what is loud, not what is lasting. You do not need crowds. You need clarity. You do not need cheerleaders. You need engineers, those who build belief with you in silence and walk with you in conviction. Say again with will, even one unqualified voice can corrupt the foundation. Be ruthless. Choose builders only. I do not explain my calling to those not called to build it with me. This is the test. If a man does not reinforce your faith, your focus, your discipline, he does not belong near your structure. You will thank yourself later for protecting the frame of your destiny. From this day forward, you are the gatekeeper. You are the architect. You are the one who decides who lays brick, who wields the hammer, and who merely watches from afar. Success is not built once and left alone. It is reinforced daily, or it begins to decay. A man does not maintain a powerful life by emotion, inspiration, or the memory of a good decision. He maintains it with ritual. He reinforces his foundation like a master craftsman who inspects every beam, every bolt, every nail, every single day. What most men call motivation, the wise man calls maintenance. A bridge that carries thousands of tons is not trusted merely because it was well built once. It is trusted because it is inspected, tested, maintained day after day after day. You must treat your mind the same way. Let me make this plain. Even the strongest foundation begins to crack under neglect. Your identity, your belief, your decisions, no matter how pure they once were, will begin to erode if you stop reinforcing them. Not all at once, but slowly. The voice of certainty will become the whisper of maybe. The clear path will blur. The man who once walked with decision will now wait for permission. The enemy is not failure. The enemy is forgetting. Forgetting your aim, forgetting your identity, forgetting your purpose, forgetting what you said you would build. And forgetting happens not because you do not care, but because you do not repeat. Repetition is the guardian of belief. Ritual is the protector of power. Every day you delay, the old man begins to return. He does not knock loudly. He whispers. He creeps. He offers one missed day, one exception, one compromise. And that is the first crack in the wall. You must treat your mental architecture like a fortress, and you must walk it daily like a guard on post. If you do not check the walls, someone else will, and they will not repair them. They will sneak through them. This is your law. Repetition installs. Ritual reinforces. Identity is kept alive by daily attention. I now give you a structure, a ritual of reinforcement that, if followed, will make your inner world unshakable. Each morning, read your definite chief aim aloud, with energy, with clarity, with belief, not as a task, but as a command to the subconscious. Let your voice carve the shape of your future into the walls of your mind. Then speak your affirmations with intensity, not passively, with authority. I am the man who builds. I am the man who speaks truth. I am the man who finishes what he starts. This is not motivation. This is programming. You are installing a blueprint into the most obedient part of your being, the subconscious. And what is repeated with emotion becomes reality. In the middle of the day, pause. Check your speech. Review your posture. Ask yourself, have I acted today like the man I declared myself to be? If not, correct it. If yes, reinforce it again. And in the evening before sleep, repeat your chief aim again. Read it once more. Let your mind drift off to the sound of definiteness. Replace all idle thought with declared instruction.